All right, hey class. So in this tutorial, I'm going to first explain how to crop your image. All right, so number one, first I'd like to just say thank you to Leigh-Ann. Leigh-Ann, I'm using your picture as my example. I hope you don't mind. I took it because it's a great picture and I thought actually you wouldn't mind, so thank you. Um, Two, we're going to talk about cropping our images. So right now you should have um, some of your images, if not all of your images, you should have pictures of them on your phone. Some of you might have uploaded them to Google Classroom, and some of you maybe haven't, and maybe you're airdropping them to your computer or you're emailing them to yourself. But the first thing that you ultimately want to do is take all 8 of your drawings and get them onto your computer. All right, once you get them onto your computer, you can then bring each of them into Photoshop individually. Right, so here is one of Leigh-Ann's pictures. What I do to Leigh-Ann's picture, I would then do if I were Leigh-Ann to all 8 of my pictures. Right, so there's 2 parts to this. The first would be cropping it, and then the second part would be like enhancing it. So in this tutorial, I'm just going over cropping your image. Right. So when I look at Leigh-Ann's image, right, I don't want the table in the background. This is a good image. It's looking directly straight on at it. That's what I want. I want it to look as if it's like scanned in, right? And I don't really want this background in here. Another thing too is that when you take pictures, sometimes it kind of like, depending on the angle, you really try to get it straight, but no matter what, it does kind of like warp the outside of the paper a little bit more. So I'm going to show you how to straighten that out a little bit. And the first thing I want to do is actually on my layer bar unlock this layer, right? So that now I can kind of work on it a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is using my selection tool, I'm going to select the entire image, right? I'm going to go up to edit and I'm going to go to transform. And I'm going to do a little bit of transformation to this. The first thing I'm going to do is rotate it. I want to rotate it just a little bit so that it looks straight, right? Another thing that you could do is bring down a guideline, right, into the picture. And then you can also then rotate it and just use that as a guideline to make sure that, you know, okay, the picture looks pretty straight, right? So once I do that, I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so it kind of places it. I'm going to keep that selection, and the next thing I'm going to do is warp the image a little bit. You may not have to do this, but I'm going to do this to Leigh-Ann's picture just at the top so it kind of pushes up a little bit and I don't have to crop any of these beautiful leaves out. So I'm going to go to edit, transform, and I'm going to warp it a little bit. The first thing I might try and do is distort it actually. So distort and warp are very similar. I'll show you how they work separately. So distort, we'll create a bracket around the image and then I can actually pull from each one of these points. So I'm going to pull up from here and you notice that it's kind of moving the image a little bit and distorting it. So I want to pull this up a little bit so that it becomes a little bit straighter, right? I can also do that to other sides too, but I don't necessarily need to in this case. I'm just adjusting it slightly. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to keep that selection. And now I don't think I'm going to do anything else to it. I think it's good, but I'm just going to show you how warp works. So warp places this like mesh grid on top of your drawing, and then it gives you kind of like a little bit more wiggle room to kind of warp certain things. So you have these like anchor bars that come out and it will warp certain parts of the picture. So this was kind of slouching in a little bit. I might kind of pull it back up a little bit more. You can also kind of pull from the inside to adjust it, but I may not do that. All right, so now that looks pretty good. So I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and now I've kind of adjusted the image. So if we were to go back, you could see what it looked like when I first brought it into Photoshop and then what it looked like when I adjusted it slightly. So now we're at a point where I can crop the image, right? So I'm going to go to my crop tool, which looks like this. And the crop tool works just like it would in any program like Photoshop. I'm sorry, any, I don't know what I'm saying right now. On your phone, I meant. Like on anyone's phone, you might have like a crop tool, so you're cropping things out of a picture before you upload it to like Instagram or something. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to just crop this image all the way. All right, so I think I got most of that, so I'm going to hit enter, boom, and there we have, I might crop it a little bit more at the top. Eden's image, right? So once you finish cropping the image, and I want you to do this to all of your drawings. You're going to go to File, Save As, all right, and I'm going to go to my desktop, and right now I'm in my desktop. I'm just going to go quickly to my digital art class. You can see I have like a lot of stuff on here all organized. And I'm going to go to digital art. Well, no, not digital art class. I'm going to go to, I created a folder, 8 drawings. So I created a folder called 8 drawings. And then I can go put my drawing here. So maybe I'm going to name this drawing 1, right? And I'm going to keep it a PSD file. I'm not changing anything about it. And I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to name this one drawing 2 since I have drawing 1 from my other class. And hit save, and then hit OK. And then I'm going to move on to my other pieces. In my next tutorial, I'm going to go over how to then take these drawings and enhance them. All right, so that'll be my next video. All right, I hope you find this helpful.